Welcome back, y'all. Back to Wiki Reads, where we read Wikipedia pages, and today we're covering a fun one: the paper plane. Paper plane, also known as a paper airplane, paper dart in American English. That's weird. I only know it as a paper plane or paper aeroplane in British English. Fancy sons of guns. Is a toy aircraft, usually a glider made out of a single folded sheet of paper or paperboard. It typically takes the form of a simple nose-heavy triangle thrown like a dart. The art of the paper plane folding dates back to the 19th century with roots in various cultures around the world where they have been used for entertainment, education, and even tools for understanding aerodynamics. I was scared it was going to be too hot. The mechanics of a paper plane are grounded in the fundamental principles of flight, including lift, thrust, drag, and gravity. By manipulating these forces through different folding techniques and designs, enthusiasts can create planes that exhibit a wide range of flight characteristics such as the distance, stability, agility, time, aloft, competitions, and events dedicated to paper plane flying highlights the skill of creativity involving the crafting of the perfect design, fostering a community of hobbyists and educators alike. In addition to their recreational appeal, paper planes serve as a practical education tool, allowing students to explore concepts of physics and engineering. They offer a hands-on approach to learning, making complex ideas more accessible and engaging. Overall, paper planes encapsulate a blend of art, science, fun, and making them unique phenomenon in both childhood play and academic exploration. That's cool. I mean, when I was an engineering student, we never played with paper planes, but I was only an engineering student for like a semester, so I guess that doesn't count. All right, the history. Paper airplanes are known to have made it as far back as the 19th century, based on an American children's book describing their construction in 1864. So it could have been earlier than that. The construction of paper airplanes by Ludwig Prent at the 1924 banquet of the International Union of Theoretical and Applied Mechanics was dismissed by the artless exercise by Theodore von Karman. Of course, fancy name, going to dismiss Ludwig. Oh, the Prandtland was also somewhat impulsive. I recall that on one occasion, at rather dignified dinner meeting following a conference in Delft, Holland, my sister, who sat next to him at the table, asked him a question on the mechanics of flight. He started to explain it. In the course of it, he picked up a paper menu and fashioned it into a small model airplane. Without thinking where he was, it landed on the shirt front of French Minister of Education, much to the embarrassment of my sister and others at the banquet. Doesn't say who that story's from, but who cares? In recent times, paper model aircrafts have gained great sophistication and very high flight performances, far removed from their origami origins. Yet even origami aircraft have gained many new designs over the years and gained much in terms of flight performances. There have been many design improvements, including velocity, lift, propulsions, and styles and fashions over the subsequent years. So, advanced paper gliders, it says, developments. Paper gliders have experienced three forms from 1930 to 1988: high flight performance, scale modeling, and the use of CAD software. Ongoing development in folded origami gliders over the same period were seen a similar sophistication, including the addition of the following construction refinements: increased fold counts, explicit cutting of the paper as a component of design requirements for additional ballast to ensure flight performance. And then you got the introduction of technology, inexpensive CAD software for 2D part designs, widespread manufacture of inexpensive nature aeronial glues, so glue, inexpensive ink and laser, computers, printers, and accurate aircraft part reproduction. This is just for a paper plane. The advent of the internet and widespread of information sharing. So yeah, but I mean, it's been used all across the world. Material consideration compared to balsa wood, another material commonly used to fabricate model planes. Paper's density is higher. Consequently, conventional origami paper gliders suffer a high drag as well as imperfectly aerodynamic wing chords. I just usually use a regular piece of paper. And then you got directions for advanced paper aircraft design. So these people are unmodified origami paper aircraft, have very poor glide ratios, and then often not better than 7.5 to 1, depending on the construction materials. Modification of origami paper gliders can lead to marked improvements in flight performances at the cost of weight, and often the inclusion of aerodynamics and or structure compromises often increases the wing load. It encourages the breakdown of flow over the wing for a hybrid origami. All right. Then you got the white wings. In Japan in the late 1960s, some professor designed an advanced type of paper aircraft, which was published in 2 books, The Jet of Ages Jamboree and The Airborne All-Stars. Design of these books were later sold as White Wings, a series of paper gliders and packs from the 1970s to present day. That's going to look like bunch of paper put together. It's like those ones you get in the little plastic packages, like those little wooden ones where it's all cut out and you just pop pieces out and then you put them together. High performance gliders have fuselages that kept rigid by the use of balsa fuselages, so the balsa wood profile bonded to paper components. The paper used in quite heavy proximity, twice the weight of standard drawing cartridge paper, though lighter than lightweight cardboard. Original white wing designs were entirely out of paper. Patience and skill was required later. However, balsa wood fuselages were used as white wings were typically sold pre-cut, making construction easier, and airfoil used is a curved plate, and a pattern is supplied with the cutout of each part. So yeah, like those little kits you can get in little plastic containers. Alrighty, let's just skip down here. And then you got the flying wings, which is just literally a piece of paper folded into the shape of a wing that you just toss. And then some other designs that is possible to freestyle version of the paper aircraft, which is exhibited as unusual flight path compared to more traditional darts, jets, and gliders. Another propulsion technique creating a high launch velocity involves the use of elastic bands as a catapult, involving continuous propulsion of the paper airplane designs, such as a tumblewing follow foil, and the paper airplane suffers by soaring flight on the edge of a sheet of cardboard. Or you get the little propeller and rubber band, and then propeller uses it to go. All right, let's cover this one. Space flight. That seems kind of cool. Space flight. There may be one day be a paper airplane launched from space. A prototype passed the durability wind test in March of 2008. So almost 20 years ago. In Japan, space agency JAXA considered a launch from the International Space Station. However, the plane developers and fellow enthusiast and aeronautical engineer and professor at Tokyo postponed the attempt after acknowledging it would be all but impossible to track them during the plane's week-long journey to Earth. assuming any of it survived the searing distance. I doubt it. The developers were hoping that China or Russia would back their further efforts on the project. In February 2011, 200 paper planes were launched from a net underneath a weather balloon 23 miles above in Germany. The planes were designed to maintain a stable flight and gusts up to 100 miles per hour. The planes were equipped with memory chips from which the data could be uploaded and were reported as having to be found in other places in Europe as well as Canada, India, South Africa, and Australia. From 23 miles up, and it flew all the way there. That's crazy. Spokesman in the project said he was a bit suspicious, but the reports from the southern hemisphere but said that the planes reaching America was possible given the substantial winds encountered by the planes. The fact that they were well-built paper plane travels 12 feet across the ground at every foot it drops. In June 2015, a club from a high school in Suffolk, UK achieved the world's highest plane launch at 3,500 meters. So 35 kilometers or 114,000 feet. I don't know how they did that though. All right, but with that, let's go ahead and make one. So if any of y'all never had a dad to teach you this, let's go through it together. Or teach the one that my dad taught me. Take a paper plane, copy sheet of paper. I like taking it, get a nice crease down hot dog style. I don't know if they still say hot dog style, but this will always be hot dog style and hamburger style. Alrighty. Nice evenly hot dog style folded down. And then what I'm going to do is open this thing up just like that. I'm going to take this corner, bring it down to the middle like that. Just like that, and then repeat on the other side. Awesome. So now we got a shape like that. And what we're going to do is fold this in again. Pretty simple design, but always fun to make. So you see, we brought that side in, just like that. Repeat on the other side. You'll get a nice point here, so you can make sure to jab somebody's eyes out. Not really, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, so now it kind of looks like a little rocket ship or the United States Space Force logo. And then we're back to folding it hot dog style again. I guess this would be like dart style, I don't know. Just like that, back in half. And then we're going to fold one wing down at a time. I like bringing it a little bit down. A little overlap over here. So fold one half down and you get a little overlap. And then we're going to do the same to the other side. A little overlap. You want the wings to be as even as possible. Boom. And then you just pop it open. Now you got a paper airplane. What you gotta do though, good technique, take the tail. You don't want to tuck the tail in. Make sure to do it right down the crease. Stays even, boom. Now you got a little paper airplane. If you're really cool, you cut little slits here so you can put some flaps in it so that you can do some barrel rolls and flips or whatnot. And then you're good to go. You just give it a good old chunk. All right, do one more. This one's gonna be a little bit different. This is gonna be one that my late grandfather used to teach me to make. Crazy, you know. Their generation was such a hard generation, and here I am making paper airplanes on the internet. Alright, this one's gonna be a little different. So what you're gonna do is bring on one corner of the paper just straight over like that. Make this a straight edge of, and then for the next step, you're gonna do the same thing except bring this corner across like that. Some days. Boom. There we go. And then we're going to fold the nose down. You know, some days I wish he was still here. You know, nobody teaches you better than a grandfather does. No matter what anyone tells you. Boom, just like that. And now we're going to fold it in half. I don't know if this would still be hot dog style, but technically it's hot dog style still. Fold it just like that. Boom. Then we're going to fold the wings down. I like to call this one a bomber. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of a bomber. I don't know why, because it's short and stubby. Going down, got a lot more overlap on this one. This one you gotta really make sure to kind of point up to fly because the nose is so heavy on it. Boom, pop the wings out. Got another design for you, not the usual long slender design, and then same thing, tuck the tail in. Boom. Another paper airplane, and then you get your friends and you can see who makes the best ones. Boom. Awesome, guys. Till next time, I hope y'all enjoyed this one.